Hello and you're welcome to Knowledge Zeal Learning Zone, a channel created to give explanations to topics in the most easy, understandable and knowledgeable manner. I am Husseina Adeomi, your tutor for bio-related topics. The topic for today is digestive systems. Yeah, food. Food is very important for the continuous living of the cells. And recall that nutrition is one of the characteristics of living things. And you can simply put that nutrition is the process of feeding. It is made up of two types, the autotrophic nutrition and the heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is a process of synthesizing food by self. Auto means self. And autotrophic organisms, e.g. plants, they synthesize their food by themselves. While heterotrophic nutrition is a process that depends on the autotrophic nutrition. Yes. What do I mean by this? Examples of autotrophic organisms is human. They do not synthesize food by themselves. Rather, they depend on the food synthesized by the autotrophic organisms, which is green plants. Also recall that there are 6 major classes of food. The carbohydrate, which after digestion is broken down into glucose. The second class is protein. After digestion, it is broken down to amino acids. The third major macromolecule, which is third class, is fats and oil. And after digestion, is also broken down to fatty acids and glycerol. The remaining 3 major classes are vitamins, mineral salts, and water. The 2 keywords in this topic, digestive systems, are digestion and digestive systems proper. Come along with me as I explain using few slides. Yes, you're welcome to Knowledge Zeal. Again, so glad to have you here. The topic is digestive system. Recall that a system comprises organs that are joined together to perform a specific function. The keywords, like I said earlier, they are digestion and digestive system. Nutrition is one of the characteristics of living things and it involves the process of feeding. It is made up of 2 types, the autotrophic nutrition, which involves self-synthesizing, that is, the organism, they synthesize their food by themselves, e.g. green plants, through a process called photosynthesis. The second type is heterotrophic nutrition. It's a process whereby the organisms, they depend on ready-made food, especially from autotrophic organisms, before they can feed. That means they cannot synthesize their own food by themselves. Yes, examples of organisms that are heterotrophic in nature, we have all the animals, especially the chordates or the primates, as you say, e.g. man, goat, pigs. Some are carnivorous when they feed on flesh alone. Some are omnivorous when they feed on both flesh and vegetables, while some are herbivorous when they feed on just plants, that's vegetables. Some of these food are taken in raw, like the vegetables. Some are prepared, like the starch. We have the 6 major classes of food. The carbohydrates, examples, we have yam, rice. Second is proteins. The third is fats, and examples of protein, are milk, meat, eggs, fish. The third is fats and oil. We have pears, groundnut oil, palm oil. The fourth is mineral salts. These are sodium salts, calciums. The sodium salt can be gotten from normal table salt, that's sodium chloride. The fifth is vitamins, which is the fat soluble vitamins, which is the vitamin A, D, E, and K. And then we have the water soluble vitamins, which are the majorly B complexes, B1, B2, and so on. Then last but not the least, we have water, which is very important for digestion. It aids the process of digestion, so to say. You could also say some dietary fibers or roughages, which makes the food to move properly in the system. As you can see from this picture, we see the carbohydrates, yes, the rice, the yam. We also see the proteins, which are the eggs, the meats. We see the vitamins, yes, from fruits, green fruits. we see the minerals from banana, from tomatoes. We also have the fat from pears, as you see in the picture. Then we have the water proper that aids in digestion. Now let's get to part of the topic, digestion. This involves the breakdown of food into smaller components until they can be absorbed and assimilated into the body. Don't forget your word. We see breakdown, absorbed, and then assimilation. They are of two types. The mechanical digestion, that's the breaking down using mechanical means like teeth. Then the chemical digestion, which is using enzymes that aids the process of digestion. Yes, chemicals that aids the process of digestion are called enzymes. Some they work specifically on the class of food. Some work specifically for carbohydrates, e.g. the thiolin works on carbohydrates, cooked starch. The pepsin works on protein. We have renin that works on milk. So they are specifically aided with their function. That is, they are like key enzyme process, like lock and key. Yes. Now the digestive system, on the other hand, consists of the gastrointestinal tract, that's the GIT, and all the accessory organs of digestion. Yeah, don't forget that I said that a system is a combination of organs, so all the accessory organs, and it involves 4 processes. The first one is ingestion, where the food is taken into the body, and the second is digestion. It goes through the breaking down process. Don't forget the 3 words. That's the breaking down, absorption, and then assimilation. That's the third one, which is the absorption, where the nutritive parts are taken in and the waste are now further ejected out of the body, which is ejection. That is the 4th process. The process of digestion has to go through many parts. Like I said, there is the mouth in which the food will have to be taken into. And don't forget, the way in which the food is taken into the body, that's not the way the body assimilates it. No. Once the food is taken into the mouth, there is the tongue that helps to form it into bolus. Yes, the mouth contains the tongue and the teeth. The teeth aids in the mechanical digestion, breaks it down. There's a tongue that helps to form it into the bolus. Then there's also the salivary gland. It contains saliva, and this saliva contains an enzyme called thiolin. This enzyme called thiolin works on carbohydrates, which means the process of digestion for carbohydrates starts from the mouth. Then thereafter, the food passes through the esophagus through a process called peristalsis. Through the esophagus, it moves straight to the stomach, and the stomach contains some gastric enzymes plus HCl, that's hydrochloric acid, and some gastric enzymes such as the renin and the pepsin. The renin works on, while pepsin works on other proteinous compounds, substances. We have the liver also that contains the gallbladder, which stores bile to emulsify fats and oil. It emulsifies fat and oil, that is, breaks down fat and oils into tiny droplets, so that we have large surface area for the digestive enzymes to work on them. We also have the pancreas, which contains the pancreatic enzymes. Yes, the enzymes that still further go on to break down the food. The intestines are also there. The small intestine, which are made up of the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. Yes, the ileum is where proper absorption of food takes place. And thereafter, the content is sent. Yes, proper absorption. So this content is sent to the large intestine, where there is water absorption, and what is formed thereafter is called feces, which needs to be ejected or removed out of the system through the anus. This is a diagram of the digestive system of a bird. An example is chicken. They do not have teeth. Yes, their mouth is modified into a beak. So they pick up their food, e.g. food grains like corn, guinea corn, using the beak. It comes through the esophagus to the crop, where it is stored for a while. Then it goes to the proventriculus, which contains some stones or grits that helps to grind the food. And thereafter, it moves from there to the gizzard for further. Now, the proventriculus is also known as glandular stomach, because some enzymes are released. Some glandular enzymes are released into the food to aid digestion. The food moves into the gizzard for proper breaking down of the food, and it is known as the glandular stomach. So the food is properly grinded and it passes through to the small intestine. Don't forget your DJI, the duodenum, the ileum, and the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. The proper absorption of the food takes place at the where again? Beautiful, the ileum. Thereafter, the remaining content passes through to the large intestine for absorption of water, and the remaining content, which is the feces, moves through the cloaca out of the system. Now, don't forget that the birds, they tend to urinate and also pass the feces out the same time out of their system. Yes, and the process of this passing it out is called what? Ejection. So the four processes have been overcome, which is the ingestion, the first one, that's IDAE, the ingestion, the digestion, the absorption, which takes place in the ileum, and finally you have the ejection of the waste, that's the undigested food, out of the system. That's the digestive system for a bird. The second one will be the digestive system of man. Yes, it is complex. Now take note that the alimentary canal of animals are not the same. They are modified from simple to complex. Yes, for man here you can see there's the mouth which the food comes into, and like I said, the digestion of carbohydrate starts right from the mouth because the saliva contains an enzyme called ptyalin, where the food is broken down. Then the food then passes through the esophagus. It gets to the stomach where it is stored for a while, say 4 hours, for gastric enzymes to be released on them. Here, hydrochloric acid is also released for an acidic environment, whereby the renin, which is an enzyme, curdles the milk, while the pepsin works on some of the proteinous food substance. You can see the gallbladder, yes, with a green content in it called bile, which is also released to emulsify fats. Now, what do we mean by this? Emulsifying fat means breaking down fat into tiny droplets for it to have a large surface area for the digestive enzymes to work on it. Thereafter, the food content is passed into the duodenum, which is the first portion of the small intestine, for further release of enzymes to work on the food. It further moves to the jejunum for further digestive process. Then last to the ileum, that's the third portion of the small intestine, for the digestion to be completed, and the food, the nutritive part of the food, will now be absorbed at this ileum. From there, the remaining content goes through to the large intestine for absorption of water, and like I said, what comes after this process is called feces, which now moves to the rectum and further to the anus, and it is ejected. The end product of digestions are as follows. The end product of carbohydrates are simple sugars such as glucose, fructose, and galactose. The second one, which is protein, are amino acids. And for fats and oil, it is broken down to fatty acids and glycerol. Once it's absorbed into the bloodstream, it's taken to the heart. There are processes for this, for the processes for it as it goes into the bloodstream to the heart and to every other parts of the body. Now this is a question session. I will be giving you some time to go through the questions and then answer. Thereafter, we'll discuss further. The first question says, what is nutrition? Second is define digestion. The third is mention the two types of digestion. The fourth says dash breaks down food molecules during digestion. The fifth, list the 4 major processes that takes place in the digestive system. And the sixth is enumerate 5 parts of the digestive system. The sixth is the sixth is enumerate 5 parts of the digestive system, while the last but not the least question, which is the 7th one, is where does the absorption of food takes place in the digestive system. Okay, I hope you're rounding up. Okay, now the answer section. Like we earlier discussed, we said nutrition involves the feeding. Yes, it has to do with food, feeding ability of an organism. The second question, which is digestion, is explained as the breaking down of food into smaller components until they can be absorbed and assimilated into the body. Yes, until the nutritive part, which is the nutrient, is absorbed into the body, while the undigested part is ejected out. It is made up of two types, which are what? Mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Dash helps to break down food components in the body. During chemical digestion, they are called enzymes. And the four processes that are involved in the digestive system are ingestion, digestion, absorption, and ejection. That's the IDAE, IDEA. 5 parts that can be found in the gastrointestinal tract are: we have the mouth, the esophagus, which is also called gullet or esophagus. We have the stomach for storage of food. We have the intestine, which is the small and the large intestine. And finally, the undigested food, which is the feces, are passed through the anus out of the system. And the seventh question said that which of the part does proper absorption take place? That is the small intestine, specifically the ileum, because it contains villi, singularly called vilus, where absorption actually takes place. And the nutritive part of the food gotten is taken into the bloodstream to the heart to mix with oxygen. Oxygen comes in through the lungs, it is mixed at the heart, then it is further channeled into other parts of the body system where they are needed. One for building of fats, that's adipose tissue, to be stored, or even the liver. The liver also helps in this process because it has some hormones that helps to convert glucose when it is in excess to glycogen. And also when glucose is needed in the system, it is all the stored glycogen is also converted back to glucose so that there can be continuous energy in the system of an organism. Now these two hormones are called what? That's the insulin and the glucagon. Yes, don't forget your biological terms. Yes, I remain your facilitator, Husaina Adewumi, the facilitator for bio-related topics, and that is it for digestive system. Hope to see you on other topics soon. Subscribe. Oh, and yes, thanks for learning here. We love you so much. Don't forget, yes, like I said, to subscribe. Yes, now you have a clear picture of what digestive system is all about, an understanding of how the food taken into the body is broken down so that the nutritive portion will be accessed by the body, while the undigested part, which is the waste, is ejected out of the body. I do hope you had a knowledgeable time here. I am still your tutor, Husaina Adeomi, and this is what we do at Knowledge Zeal Learning Zone. We explain topics in the most easy, understandable, and knowledgeable manner. Please feel free to write down your comments, your thoughts in the comment section. And are there topics that you need explanations to? Wow, we'll be delighted to have them. Yes, we'll be delighted to have them. And justice will be made to such topics. They will be uploaded soonest for your usage. Stay tuned to this channel by subscribing. There's this subscription box. Go ahead and click on it so that you'll be notified on further videos that will be coming up on this channel. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay knowledgeable. Bye for now.